Good morning. Welcome to Simply Remarkable and happy Flag Day. We're so glad you're here with us today and being here on this multi-live streaming show created by Remarkable Lay Speakers Bureau. And I'm Sue Falcone, your host today, founder and CEO of Remarkable. Now, this is a great conversation time that I look forward to every week because we created this so that you could get to know the talent and the speakers and everyone that we represent at Remarkable personally as we do. You will see today and hear our speaker's story as an author and a well-known speaker, and you'll see how remarkable he is and how he can help you be remarkable too. That's what it's all about. Now, and you never know, you might be looking for that perfect speaker for your next event, and we have it right here for you today. That happens all the time, so you never know how we can do that. Again, thanks for joining us, and we love for you to join in the conversation. As you know, audience is our key. So our live chat is open. We welcome your questions. We welcome your shout outs, and we'd love to let us know where you're coming from, because this is what it's all about. So we can establish a great conversation with all of us today. Now, our featured guest today, as we continue celebrating National Effective Communication Month, is Hardy Smith. Now, he's a nonprofit, high energy, strategic planning motivational speaker, a board treat facilitator, a blogger, and author of the best-selling Stop the Nonprofit Board Blame Game. Whoa, got it right. And learn how to break the cycle of frustrating relationships and benefit from fully engaged boards. I know many of us are on boards or thinking about being on a board, so we've got great information for you today. Hardy is a great communicator, storyteller, and he also has a new project to share with us today. So I'm excited to welcome Hardy Smith.
Happy Friday Flag Day, Sue Falcone. And thank you for an opportunity to visit with you and your remarkable audience. This will be a fun visit today. Thank you.
Great. And where are you coming to us from, Hardy?
Today, Daytona Beach.
Yay, Daytona. Don't we love that city? Oh, wow. Now, we're just going to jump right in because this time flies. And we want to make sure that our audience knows everything we can tell them in such a short period of time so they can walk away knowing that they can handle board and issues that come up in our workplaces. Now, Hardy, where did you grow up? And did you ever think you would be a professional speaker and best-selling author?
Well, I grew up in Talladega, Alabama, and there was probably an early idea that speaking could be a future career because I was always that student in the classroom that the teacher was saying, Hardy, stop talking. And so I was always that kid. Now I just get paid to do it. So isn't that fun?
That's amazing. I mean, really, who would have known, right? I'm sure your parents didn't know, did they? They just thought, okay, what's happening here? Now, Hardy, what sparked your interest in nonprofits and corporate boards and board members becoming more successful? What sparked all that?
Sue, I've worked with nonprofit organizations, community organizations, associations, chambers of commerce. I've been involved with those groups from local to state to national, international levels, literally all my life, both personally and professionally. Even when I was in the world of NASCAR racing, I was very much involved with community groups across the country. So in doing a whole lot of speaking on behalf of NASCAR during those days. And during that time, I knew that at some point I would have an opportunity to create my own consulting business, own professional speaking business, and nonprofit organizations, which of course are the nonprofit social sector groups, the chambers of commerce, associations themselves. That's where I have the most fun. So that's the lane that I chose. And the more that I got into research around specific issues that impact the performance levels and the success levels, and maybe handcuff success of missions, I could see that one of those top challenges is around boards and board members not doing what they're supposed to do. So that really became my focus niche, helping organizations benefit from positive, productive, and fully engaged boards. Really became my quest. And that quest also led to the book, Stop the Nonprofit Board Blame Game. And it's the next step based on the book, which will be launching very soon, will be a very robust online course version of Stop the Nonprofit Board Blame Game.
Oh, how exciting. You already got into the project, because I was excited about that too. And your book is amazing, and it's been so helpful for so many, and not just nonprofits. It is strategic planning on boards. So I know that's going to be exciting to have a course online, and you're going to have certifications with it too, right?
Absolutely. The course is designed to provide certification and those professional development credits, which are so important for all professionals. It's designed for CFRE credits for the Certified Fundraising Executive program by CFRE International. I've already got that approval, so that's ready. And I'm pending the CAE certification approvals from ASAE. So if you're in those worlds, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, it's just a bunch of letters. But and it's also eligible to be submitted for continuing education credits for Chamber of Commerce professionals as well. So it's a very high level course, a lot of tremendous value. There are going to be some you'll see some fantastic endorsers of the course, which we'll be sharing those out, which helps, I think, validate how good of a piece of work it is.
And look, Hardy, it's been a journey. I've known you since you started writing the book, and to this level, I'm so excited, that your audiences have just taken this in, and the testimonials are absolutely out of this world. So, effective communicator, you certainly are.
Oh, thank you very much.
Today, in today's world, do you believe that effective communication needs to be intentional? Is it the key to success today?
Well, Sue, as you know, my wife Debbie and I have crossed the 50 years of marriage mark, and by the way, that's for those of you who may be helping celebrate that in the audience today. That's together. That's not accumulative. That's together. So 50 years with each other. So that's quite an accomplishment, right? Well, one of the things that I've learned is the absolute number one key to a successful relationship, whether it's personal or in business, is good communication. And I've learned in my work, trying to get a better understanding around why board members, nonprofit volunteer board members, don't do what they they're supposed to do. Sue, the board members that have shared their insights with me identify poor communication as the top issue on why board members don't perform as expected. So whether it's in the nonprofit sector, whether it's in the corporate sector, or whether it's in your personal world, communication is the number one most essential element for successful relationships.
That is so key. I'm so excited that you shared that from a personal level as well as from a professional level. And here's a copy of your book. I want to make sure everybody knows what it looks like. Stop the nonprofit blame game. And I thought it was so funny today. I saw recently some comments saying, yeah, you've got that online course going. You've got your speaking career going. You've got virtual career going. You've authorship going. Maybe you need to have some fun and create an actual board game. Right? I saw that. I said, oh wow, that's exciting. So that's innovation goes on, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And that I know the comment that you're referring to, and David Falchak is an association professional, nonprofit professional, and he and I were in the Institute for Organization Management class together. So he's a great friend and a good supporter, and I like his creative thinking. So the game might have to be a next project.
You never know. You never know. That could go television. Okay. All right. You never know. You never know. Okay. Now, you've explained no matter in personal or professional, no matter your age or stage, communication is key. And I love that because, a lot of people say, well, depending on which age group or which little category you're labeled as, not everybody communicates the same and can different stages of life communicate well, but you proved that you can cross those barriers. It doesn't matter the age or stage, because why do you think that is? What is your key secret to being able to reach all the generations that are in the workplace now?
Well, Sue, you're 100% on target with that. And here's what I've discovered. It's not about, good communication is not about more. So it's not about another report, another email. It's not about more. It's about effective communicating effectively, and underline, if you will, the word effectively. Highlight that. That's the difference. So using nonprofit boards as an example, the executive director or the CEO who is so frustrated, very common, so frustrated that board report they spend hours and hours on preparing, that they know in advance no one's going to read. Well, why are they doing that to themselves? And the answer is they need to like you've just touched on, and let's go deeper with that. Every single person has a unique personality, and part of that personality includes individual likes and preferences, Sue, on how they want to be communicated with. So to be a successful communicator, you've got to learn to understand your audience. And it reminds me of working on our family farm back in the day. I worked in the milking parlor, and every day, twice a day, we milked over 200 head of dairy cows. Now that's a pretty large operation. And, freezing Alabama at 3 a.m. in the morning, winter mornings in Alabama, often below freezing. And then in the summertime, stifling hot. And as to whether or not it was freezing cold or stifling hot, every single morning, every single afternoon, every time those cows came into that parlor, I'd get whacked across the face with a cold, wet, smelly cow tail. And then I'm always trying to dodge kicks from those hind legs. And I looked around one day, and the folks who my worker colleagues in the dairy, they didn't have those problems. Why? And I said, why are they picking on me? And so one of the veterans of the dairy barn said, Hardy, you'll have to learn to think like the cows. Oh, okay. Well, I thought, well, how ridiculous is that, Sue? But then, okay, now I get it. I've got to learn to appreciate the cow's point of view and what's not going to make them upset and what's going to keep them calm. Well, and that applies to every single, whether it's an individual interaction or if it's a group dynamic or a team dynamic in the workplace or with your nonprofit board. You've got to learn to think like the cows. How do they want to be communicated with? How do they want to, what are the methodologies? What are the techniques, the platforms? And so some people prefer long, lengthy reports. Some want very, very short bites of information, and that's it. When I worked in the world of NASCAR racing and worked for Bill France was very much a very succinct communicator. And he would say, Hardy, I don't need a weather forecast. Just tell me, is it raining? Yes or no. That's it, period. Then if he wanted to ask questions, he could certainly ask questions. But the point is, if you're understanding your audience, again, either individual or a group dynamic, what are their preferences? How do they want to be communicated with? Do they need visuals? Do they need more data? And of course, each audience breaks down into subgroups. And so you have to, how bad do you want it? Is this a lot of work? Yes, it is. But how badly do you want to be an effective communicator? And if you'll do your work up front, maybe like when you're hiring someone for the first time, you're recruiting a new board member, just simply ask, what are your communication preferences? How do you like to handle information? How soon do you like to have information before action is needed? Because, in the world of nonprofits, Sue, quite often those board members aren't getting those lengthy reports that someone has worked so hard to prepare. They're not getting those in advance, or they're not getting those until right at the beginning of the board meeting. So they don't have enough time to digest those. And then, something else, Sue, that's so important. Not only do you need to understand your audience, you need to understand your own individual communication styles, preferences, and techniques. So if you're someone who communicates in a very succinct way, day, night, black, white, yes, no, well, your audience may be wanting more information and you're not providing it because it's your style to just give the bare information necessities. So you may be causing self-inflicted communication issues that you're not aware of. So all of those are so important. And again, all of these techniques, while I'm sharing lessons from Stop the Nonprofit Board Blame Game, right? All of these lessons about communicating effectively apply to everyone, all relationships, business, personal, and in the nonprofit world.
I certainly can understand that because it's key. And I know myself, and that's so key. I love that you have to know your own communication style before you can kind of look at what others are, because look, I can want to give you a whole book and I can give it to you quickly. But most people don't want to hear a whole book. Lisa, our director, is on the back end here, and I'm sure she has said, all I wanted to know was a simple answer. Okay. So
That's correct.
we learn those skills and those relationships. Developing those relationships is key in personal, in business, and certainly on a board, because we've got to develop those relationships so we can just simply say, I only need this. I don't need the whole page. I don't need the whole report at once, And so thank you for sharing that, because I think we lose track of that. We think more is better. Sometimes less is better. So you have to figure that out. So thank you for sharing that, because that's intentional. That's
Absolutely
intentional communication, because you are taking an interest in other people, and it's not just about you. Because I've seen that in so many cases. If they would just listen, they'd be able to have a lot easier relationship and a better successful business and a better successful board. So thank you for sharing that. That's really, now you have a quote out, and we're going to remember this because it deals with that. And I've been sharing it all week, and I love it because it gives me that reminder of what you just said. It says, sure, you may be communicating, but are you communicating effectively? That's what we want to get to. And you've given us the keys to do it. So that is key. I love it. I love it. So that we can make sure that in all the work that we do, wherever, that we take that opportunity to remember it's not all about us. It's about others, and it's about how we communicate with others. So thank you for sharing that. Now, looking back, Hardy, what is it that makes you smile about where you are today?
Well, it's just that I'm on a quest of being remarkable, and to achieve remarkability is the quest. So I have fun every day in being who I am and what I do. And so the opportunity to interact with individuals and groups across the country on a daily basis, knowing that I'm helping solve challenges and help them be better at what they do, help them be more successful in achieving extremely impactful missions. How can you not be happy about that?
Exactly. And you come from an industry that we all love. NASCAR is fun. All right. So you've got those stories that you can also share with us, which are so exciting to us, because we're here headquartered here in North Carolina, and NASCAR's just like basketball. You got to have basketball and NASCAR. So that's, we know that. But that's the fun that you can bring, the humor and the fun and the stories that makes people want more of you, which is really the key here, the key thing. Now, in closing, can you believe it? I told you this goes fast. Goes fast.
It does.
What will you do today to be remarkable? And do you have anything else you want to share with us?
Well, I'm trying to get better at my levels of productivity. So I'm just, that's always a challenge, and always, working hard to push the needle. So there's a whole lot of pushing that's yet to be done. Or, after this remarkable experience, there's more to come today. And I would suggest this, two things very quickly. And you touched on, Sue, the importance of listening. Listening is the most important part of effective communication. So if you want to be a better communicator, demonstrate active listening. So it doesn't either on an individual basis or, again, in a group dynamic. Second, real quick hitter point. If you don't feel like your communication is working, if you don't feel like those you are communicating with are responding, maybe they're not even taking your calls or responding to your text messages, or opening your emails. If they're not responding, take a self-assessment. Just take a minute, take a pause, and consider just a brief evaluation. What are you doing yourself to possibly contribute to someone not either listening to you, not responding to you, not being interested in what you are saying? But take a minute and evaluate, how can you be a more effective communicator? Because quite often, in a relationship, it's more than just one way, it's two ways. So give that some thought.
That's wonderful. It sounds like you've got a plate full today, and you are remarkable, certainly. And our audience out there, and we know you're listening. Sometimes you don't let us know you're there, but we know you're there. Let us know what you're going to do today to be remarkable. Have you heard anything from Hardy today that maybe you need to work on? I picked up some things. I'm like, okay, I have some big meetings today. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad I had this time with you, Hardy, so that I can make those more effective than maybe what I was thinking of the direction. And so we'd love to hear your comments out there, audience, because you never know. This might be a new book coming. All right. We want to hear your comments there. And we just thank you so much for joining us here today at Remarkable. And we thank you, Hardy. We wish for you a remarkable 2024 as you get that new program rolled out and helping us all be a better communicator. And we're so excited about your new project. It's going to be great. Now, let me ask you this, audience. Would you like to have a more positive, productive, and fully engaged board at your nonprofit, association, or chamber of commerce? We've got the perfect fit for you. Contact us right away at our website to book Hardy Smith, as he, I assure you, can make that happen for you, and you can have a wonderful, wonderful 2024 to end with. So he books quickly, so give us a call. And everyone, we hope you will come back next Friday, which will be June 21st. Time flies when you're having fun. And look, here we are. I believe, if I've got my calendar correct, that's the beginning of summer. I think that's the date, the magic date that we roll over. Of course, some of us are already into it, and today we're going to reach the 90s here. So, we're ready for it. I love the heat, as everyone knows. I love the warmth. So, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready. And we will continue next Friday to celebrate National Effective Communication Month. And our featured guest is going to be Paul Falcone. Now, he's no relation to my family. I want to make that clear. But he is an international keynote speaker, a workplace leadership trainer, best-selling author, executive coach, and he has been tagged by HR Magazine as the Bruce Springsteen of human resources. That sounds like a good fun time. And he's a top-rated speaker and storyteller who makes learning fun and exciting no matter how challenging the topic. He specializes in the area of workplace leadership, communication, and talent management. So you will not want to miss this conversation next week. It's going to be one of those great times, again, that we love to have. And we also invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, we're trying to build up a big following there because we know, Hardy, we have to keep in touch with all the generations that are out there. And YouTube is key. It is. So we love sharing not only our shows. You subscribe to us, you'll get advance notice of who's coming and our shows. Plus, you'll also be able to have them as the resource to go back to, because guess what? Hardy Smith will be on there this afternoon. So you'll make sure that you won't miss anything. That's why you don't have to take notes here. You have a resource right there. Also, you'll find there all the talent that we represent and their video clips. So you have a great choice of your conference or your business meetings or the event you have coming up, because we can service everyone on the planet. That's it. We can. And do you see how I love what I get to do? I do. No matter my age or stage, I don't know anything else. I love working with people. I love working with event planners and anyone out there that is planning events because I love to help you create experiences of a lifetime. And that's what we bring to you at Remarkable. They are remarkable, and we can assure that to you. And I wish for you a happy Flag Day, a great spring weekend as we head right into summer. And we will see you back here next Friday as we'll have another fun time together because it's all about fun, isn't it, Hardy?
It certainly
Thank you
is.
again,
Thank you,
Hardy.
everyone. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you so much. Have a remarkable weekend.